Hey guys, today I'm going to do a little tutorial for Python Flask and connecting it with Gunicorn. The default Flask development server is not suited for production. It's not able to take in multiple requests, and it's not good for scalability. Something like a WSGI server like Gunicorn fixes this and is much more suited for a production environment. To get started, we're going to have to install some dependencies. We're going to install Flask. I already have mine installed. And I'm also going to install Gunicorn. Install Gunicorn. Again, mine's already installed. I'm going to have the repository linked in the description, which has the requirement as a txt file. You should be able to install it by typing pip3 install -user r and then requirements file. And that should install all the dependencies within the file. So I'm going to get started by showing how I would set up my example Flask server, and then we're going to connect it to Gunicorn. So we're going to create an app directory. This is going to house our main application. And create a module file. This lets Python know that the app directory is a module, and then we're going to create a main file, which is going to create our application. Inside of here, we're going to want to import Flask from Flask. And now let's create our function, create app, which actually creates the application for us. We're going to give it a optional parameter for testing, so we can change it from testing to not testing, or like development to production. Let's create our Flask app. If you're not sure how to do all this as well, a good example to go through is on the Flask main page. This is more of like an intermediate Flask developer tutorial, I'd say. Let's route, I guess, a regular index. And let's return hello world with the testing flag. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this testing flag in a little bit. And then testing. And then let's return the app so Flask knows what to run. So to run this with just a regular default Flask server, we would have to export what the Flask app is. So we gotta give it the package and the file where the create app function is. So it's app.main, and then the function is create app. And with inside of this, it gets the Flask app to run. So now that we've exported Flask app, we can now run it with the command flask run. And this runs a development server. Note right here, it says warning, this is a development server. Do not use it in a production deployment. So let's go look at this server now. There it is. Okay. And that's at localhost 5000. Okay, and you see it says hello world with the testing flag set to true. So one of the things with Gunicorn is I'm able to actually run this create app with the variables that I want. So if I wanted to run this create app with testing false, I can pass that right into Gunicorn. Now to run the same application with Gunicorn, not with the default Flask development server, we're gonna type in Gunicorn. With Gunicorn, you can specify the number of workers by default. The Flask application, or the Flask default server, can only handle one request at a time, so it's only one worker. Gunicorn, you can have as many as you want. I think the recommended amount is 2 to 4 workers per core on your server. I'm just going to do 4 right now. Sorry, I have mine set up on me to sudo user. Let's pass it 4 workers, and then let's give it where the application is. So it's app.main, and the function is create app. Now, saying before, we can pass in the testing flag. So let's set testing equal to false here. And let's run that. Let's go back to our server. I'm having some problems here. If we reload this, oh, it's running at port 8000. That's my bad. So now testing is false. Can I pass it into that? Another cool thing, if you wanted to mimic the ability to reload file changes, like you can with the default Flask server, you can pass in the reload flag. So now when I make changes to this file, alright, so let's see, it's still up here. When I make changes to this file and save it, so world, my name is Andrew, save that. See down here, it reloaded the server. If we refresh this page, we can see these changes live. Another cool thing we can do is just specify where it's coming from. We can bind it to a certain port and host. So I'm going to do localhost 5000, which is mimicking exactly what Flask Run does. Let's change this host here. And there we go. We're now at localhost 5000. So now we've just set up Gunicorn to run exactly the way that the Flask default development server runs that. And this is now more suited for production, and it can take in 4 concurrent connections at a time. If you have any other questions, I'm going to have this repository linked in the description below, as well as some other useful links on how to use Gunicorn.